Zhuhua, you have begun recording, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I have started recording as well. Excellent. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Good evening, Brother Wong. And hello and welcome once again to our online tutorial study group for the Malaysian Buddhist Examination. It is very good to see all of you once again. And we are less than 2 weeks away from the examination. Are you all ready? Have you been doing the past year papers?
It's not evening, it's night.
It's night. The examination is next Thursday, yeah? Next Thursday afternoon, all right? In case you do not know that yet, all right? So get prepared, get ready for that day, all right? So it's less than 2 weeks away. We are going to have the third session today, and then the fourth session on the coming Monday, next Monday. And then you're off to your exams, all right? Good. So let us continue from last week's session. Let me share my screen. Give me a moment. All right, this should work. Everyone can view my screen now. That's good. Okay, so we have done much of these. I'm going to review very briefly what we've done in the past 2 weeks, and before that, we're going to begin with our opening puja. Let us pay homage to the Buddha, our teacher, the awakened one, the exalted one. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the blessed one, the perfected one, the supremely awakened one. To the Supreme Buddha, the teacher of gods and humans, to the sublime Dhamma, the truth and the way to ultimate joy, and to the noble Sangha, the protectors of Lord Buddha's message, we go for refuge, we seek no other refuge. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us now review some of the past sessions. Now, first of all, I want to give all of you the Google Drive link. All right, I have created the Google Drive folder. Let me stop sharing now, and I am going to post my the link. I'm going to post the links into the Zoom chat box so that all of you will get the links. Give me one moment. Okay, excellent. So I've just posted the links to the Google Drive folders. So from 2021, 2022, and this year, 2023 as well. So you would get access to past notes and also past year papers, as well as the slide decks, the Canva slide decks that I have been presenting for this year as well. All right. So if you should have the links to the past year paper as well. Brother Chiwa has posted the links in the tutorial study group WhatsApp group as well. Okay, so all of you should have it. If you do not have it, let me post it now in the Zoom chat. Okay, there you go. So the scope of the exam, the syllabus, and the information, the textbooks, as well as the past year papers, the links are there. Okay, good. So do take note of the links. All right, that's what you need to know, and let us carry on. All right, you have the Google Drive folder already. Okay, we went through the life of the Buddha. Yeah. And we talked about the 3 pillars of refuge. The path of Dhamma. Okay, this was where we stopped last week. Yeah, the 10 skillful actions. And we also looked at some of the important stories of some of the important members of the Sangha, some of the important disciples of the Buddha. Okay, so that was what we have covered in the past 2 weeks. We are going to continue this session with the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. All right, we're going to continue the story of the Buddha as well as some of the important teachings of the Buddha. Okay, this was where we stopped last week, and let's talk a little bit about the 10 skillful actions, and it is important for you to know all of them. All right, have you already memorized the meanings of each of these words? Okay. All right, let me go through let me go through once again the translation for each of these words, and then later on we'll go into more detail. Okay, Dana, Sila, Bhavana. These 3 are the primary grounds of merit, the primary foundations of righteousness. These 3 grounds provide the basis for our meritorious conduct, our righteous conduct. Dana, Sila, Bhavana. Dana means giving, the act of generosity. Sila means our morality, our character, our conduct, our behavior, our virtue. The way we act, the way we behave, the way we conduct ourselves. That's Sila. Bhavana means the practice of meditation, the practice of mental culture, mental cultivation. Apachayana is reverence or respect or honor. Honoring, revering, respecting those who are worthy of honor. Vayavacha is service, contribution, assistance, to assist someone, to help someone, to be of service to the community, to be of service to the people around us. Vayavacha. Pati dana, dana means giving, remember? So pati dana is to give, to share our merit, to share the power of our good actions with all beings. And patanumodana is to rejoice, to be happy, to be receiving the meritorious conduct of other people. When other people share merits with us, then we happily receive it, we joyfully receive it, we rejoice in their good actions. So when we see someone doing something good, or someone is behaving in a very good way, or someone is practicing the virtues of Sila, Samadhi, Panya, then we should be happy that they're doing a good thing. We should be happy that they're practicing the Dhamma according to the way of the Buddha. So that is patanumodana, we rejoice. Okay, and the next 3, Dhamma Savana. Savana means to listen. Dhamma Savana is to listen to the Dhamma. Well, all of you are doing that now, which is good. All right, you're doing the 10 skillful actions. Dhamma Desana is to share the Dhamma, to teach the Dhamma, to preach the Dhamma, to discuss the Dhamma. Dhamma Desana. And finally, Dittiju Kamma. Dittiju Kamma is to clarify our views, to straighten our views, to make our views right, to make our views correct, to make our views accurate, all right, to straighten our views. Dittiju Kamma. Later, I'll go into more detail into each of these 10. Now, let's go back to the story of the Buddha and continue to look at some of the important events in his life. All right, so we recall that as the Buddha set out before he was a Buddha, so this was before he became a Buddha. Before he was a Buddha, he set out on his journey towards enlightenment. He renounced his power, he renounced his royal throne, he renounced his palace in order to seek the truth, in order to find the solution to the universality of suffering, the universality of aging and illness and death. And so as he was setting out on this path, he wanted to be a samana, a contemplative, a spiritual practitioner. Samana, a spiritual contemplative. So he needs the robes of a contemplative. So his friend Gatikara Mahabrahma offered him the requisites of a contemplative, the 8 requisites. This is the Atta Parikara. And this is important as you know the role of the Sangha as well. The monks and nuns, the bhikkhus and bhikkhunis are also require these 8 requisites as part of their practice, as part of their livelihood. All right. Give me one moment. Let me adjust something. Okay. So you need to know the 8 requisites. You will need to know the 8 requisites as part of the knowledge of the Sangha, because the Bhikkhu Sangha, the Bhikkhuni Sangha, the monks and nuns, they require these 8 requisites as part of their livelihood, as part of their way of living. And later on, if you do not know this yet, do your reading, all right, do your learning. Okay, so from this point on, he is no longer a prince. He's no longer Prince Siddhartha Gautama. He is the Samana Gautama. He is a bodhisattva. He is searching for bodhi. He is searching for enlightenment or awakening. At this point, King Bimbisara offers a kingdom to him, and he refuses. He did not want to take on the responsibilities of royalty. He wanted to pursue spiritual truth. And also, together with him are the 5 companions. You all should remember the names of the 5 companions, yeah? All right. Now, his first 2 teachers, this was as a bodhisattva, as a Samana Gautama, he sought out some of the best spiritual teachers of his time. All right. Again, the names are important. You need to know who are these teachers before he became the Buddha. The first one is Alara Kalama. The second one is Uddaka Ramaputta. However, under these teachers, he did not reach his desired goal. He did not attain the supreme joy. He did not attain the ultimate freedom. So the question is, what did he attain? What did he attain? All right, so the answer is there. Under Alara Kalama, he attained the dimension of nothingness, or the sphere of nothingness. This is a level of deep meditation called as ayatana. Ayatana means something like a sphere or a dimension, a meditative attainment that is very, very high and profound. All right. Now, akinchanya means having nothing or nothingness. So, akinchanyayatana is the dimension of nothingness. This was the attainment that he reached under the teacher Alara Kalama. However, this path only leads to the dimension of nothingness. It does not lead to Nibbana. It does not lead to the ultimate freedom. And so the Samana Gautama, the contemplative Gautama, was not satisfied. He was disappointed in this path because it was not the right path. So he converted. He changed to another teacher. He abandoned this path. He looked for another way. So he found another teacher, Uddaka Ramaputta. Putta means the son of the child. So Ramaputta means the son of Rama. So Uddaka is the son of Rama. So his father Rama was also a great spiritual teacher, and so he continued his father's spiritual teaching. Now, some people wonder whether this Ramaputta, the Rama, the father, is a biological father or a spiritual father. My answer is I don't know, right? So he could be a spiritual child, meaning a disciple, or he could be a biological son of the father Rama. Okay. Now, under this teacher Uddaka Ramaputta, the Samana Gotama attained an even higher level of attainment. This is called Neva Sanyana Sanyayatana. Wow, can you pronounce that? All right. Neva Sanyana Sanyayatana. So this is 5 words into 1 word. All right. It's a compound Pali word. 5 words into 1 word. Neva Sanya. Okay, now let's look at Sanya first. Let's look at the first word. Sanya. Sanya means perception. Perception. You perceive something. Example, your eye, your visual consciousness perceives the color red, perceives the color blue. All right. Your auditory consciousness, your consciousness of hearing, you hear the sound, you hear a loud sound, a soft sound. So that's sanya, perception. You perceive the sights and smells and sounds of reality. That's sanya. Now, asanya, this word, asanya is a negation. The word here is a negation. So it's the opposite of sanya, means non-perception. Sanya, asanya. All right. Now, neva and na means neither nor. All right. Neither sanya nor asanya. All right. So this is the dimension of neither perception nor non-perception. This is a very subtle and very exalted attainment of meditation, absorption meditation. Very high, very refined. And so this is a very high level of joy already, very high level of happiness for the contemplative. Yet, this was still not the ultimate goal. He was still not searching for this. He was searching for something even higher. So again, he went to the teacher, Uddaka Ramaputta, and he says, no. This is still not the path. This is still not my goal. So again, he changed his way. He abandoned this way, and he went to find another way. All right. Now, this is the path of self-mortification, the way of torturing your own mind and body in order to burn or exhaust your bad karma. In order to burn or exhaust your bad karma. So the Bodhisattva at this point, he had the assumption, he had the thought that, oh, maybe I can burn away all my bad karma by torturing my body. So together with his 5 friends, Kondanya, Bhadiya, Vapa, Mahanama, Asaji, together with the 5 friends, they were practicing together this way of self-mortification. All right. There is a question from some of the participants. Does anyone have a question? You can unmute yourself and share your question. Yes.
Teacher, he tried to torture that he almost died. And then almost he died.
Yeah, you're right. So he was undergoing very extreme measures, very extreme methods of self-mortification. For example, he would hold his breath. You know what's holding your breath? So you stop breathing. You do not breathe for a long time. All right. Some of you might be able to hold your breath for 10 seconds, for 20 seconds, for 1 minute, perhaps. If some of you learn swimming, you might learn to hold your breath underwater. So if you go down underwater, you hold your breath, maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, right? That's already quite long for some of you, right? But for this practice of self-mortification, they were practicing holding their breath for a long time, very extreme measure. Another extreme method is extreme fasting. So fasting means not eating. So some amount of fasting is good, right? Of course, you don't want to be eating all the time, right? Sometimes you want to stop eating for a few hours so that you can do your work. That's very good. But if you fast for a very, very long time and you weaken your body, now that's not healthy for the body, correct? So again, the contemplative Gautama at this point, the 6 of them, right? The contemplative plus the 5 friends, right? So the 6 companions, they were practicing this method of extreme fasting. They would go without meals, without eating for a long time, and they would eat only very little every day. Sometimes they would eat only 1 grain of rice per day. They became so thin, they became so weak. The body of the contemplative Gautama became very weak, and he was almost going to die. And he realized that he was not getting any closer to enlightenment. He was not getting any closer to the ultimate freedom. So he decided, this is also not the way. And then all of you know the story. He converted once again. He changed his way. He decided to take solid food. He decided to nourish his body, nourish his health. Yeah. All right. So he abandoned the path of self-mortification and he practiced, this time practiced the correct path. He embarked on this path called the middle path. In Pali, it is Majjhima Patipada. Majjhima means middle. Patipada means your path of practice. What you walk, the road you walk on, the path you walk on, that's Patipada. So another translation is middle practice, middle path. Majjhima Patipada. This time, the Bodhisattva got it right. No other teacher knew the middle path. No other teacher was practicing the middle path. And this was what makes the path of Dhamma, the path of the Buddha's Dhamma, so unique, so special, so different. No other teacher was practicing this middle path. And the Bodhisattva, at this point, he was a spiritual genius. He embarked on this path by himself, without anyone teaching him this way. Now, why is it called the middle path? Why is it called the middle path? It is called the middle path because it avoids 2 extremes. It avoids 2 extremes, 2 limits, 2 ends. All right. These are the 2 extremes. Kama sukhalika nuyoga and atta kilamata nuyoga. All right. These are the 2 extremes. So let's look at the keyword here. The keyword here is anu yoga. Anu yoga means to indulge in something, to devote yourself to something, to commit yourself to a practice. That is anu yoga. Right? This is one keyword. Okay, so both of these extremes are described as anu yoga, anu yogo, to devote yourself to a practice. So these are the 2 practices. What are the 2 practices? Number 1 is kama sukha lika. Kama means sensuality. All right, we have learned this before when we learned about the 5 precepts, right? Remember the 3rd precept? Kamesu michachara. Kamesu michachara. Sexual misconduct or sensual misconduct. Kamesu means sensuality, sensual. Kama, sensual. Sukhalika means pleasure, sensual pleasures. Kama sukhalika means the practice of sensual pleasure. So to devote yourself to the practice of sensuality, sensual pleasures, that's the first extreme. The second extreme, atta kila mata. Atta means yourself, right? Your mind and body. Kila mata means to torture or means to give pain, to hurt or to give pain to your mind and body. So atta kila mata means self-mortification. Atta kilamata nuyogo, devotion to self-mortification or indulgence in pain. All right, these are the 2 extremes that the middle path avoids. And the Bodhisattva found a place to practice. This place is called Buddha Gaya. This one you have to remember for your exam, yeah? Buddha Gaya, the place where the Bodhisattva settled down to practice the middle path. Yes, Jadrin.
After that, he enlightenment over there, and that place was never called Buddha Gaya. It was called I forgot already.
You're right. He got enlightened there at Buddha Gaya, but you said it's no longer called Buddha Gaya. I'm not sure what that means. You are saying it has a different name now?
This is the new name. There's an old name. I forgot already.
Oh, I see. I see what you mean. This is a new name. Okay, right. Yeah. Because the Buddha got enlightened there, it's called Buddha Gaya. What is the old name? I am not sure. I can't remember. If someone
Dhamma
knows, yeah,
Gaya?
please.
Dhamma Gaya?
I think
No,
it's
it's unlikely.
Gaia.
I
I
forgot.
think it's Gaia.
No, the what Gaya? What Gaya?
Bodh Gaya. Yeah. But Bodh Gaya is pretty much the same as Buddha Gaya because Bodh is Bodhi, right? Enlightenment. It's pretty much the same name. Perhaps it has a previous name. I'm not sure what it is. I can't recall at the moment. Maybe someone, you could find out. Some of you could do your research, do some Googling, all right? Do some searching online, and maybe you can find the answer. All right. Thanks for the information. Now, this is on the night of awakening. On the night of awakening, under the Bodhi tree. Bodhi means enlightenment or awakening. That's why it's called the Bodhi tree. Under this Bodhi tree, the Buddha attained awakening. The Bodhisattva became a Buddha, right? So the Bodhisattva attained awakening and became a Buddha. So there are 3 watches of the night. The first watch, the second watch, the third watch. The first watch, the Bodhisattva recalled his own past lives. The second watch, he observed the birth and the death and the rebirth of living beings. And on the third watch, the Bodhisattva is no longer a Bodhisattva. On the third watch of the night, the Bodhisattva became a Buddha. He attained dispassion, he attained liberation, he attained jnana dasana, knowledge and vision, he attained nibbana, and he attained extinguishment of the asavas. What is the meaning of asava? Let us explore. All right. Now, these 3 watches of the night, the Bodhisattva attained te vidya. Te means 3, vidya means knowledge or insight. Te vidya, the threefold knowledge. The first is during the first watch of the night, pubbe nivasanusati, remembering the former abodes, recalling and recollecting the past lives. Dibba chaku, chaku means eye, the vision. So dibba chaku means the divine vision or the divine eye. So the the Bodhisattva developed the divine eye to be able to see and know the karmic destinies or the karmic destinations of living creatures. Some beings will die and they would reborn in certain realms. And he was able to use the Dibba Chaku, the divine eye, to see these karmic pathways, these karmic destinations. And finally, Asava Kaya. Kaya means to end, to destroy, to eradicate. Kaya. Kaya means to utterly end something. Asava means the impurity of the mind, the defilement of the mind, the poison of the mind. So asava kaya means the destruction of the asava, eradication, the extinction, the extinguishment of the impurities of the heart. So that is a tevijja, the threefold knowledge under the Bodhi tree. And this is when the Bodhisattva is no longer a Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva has become a Samma Sambuddha. A Samma Sambuddha. Samma Sambuddha means, number 1, someone who is self-enlightened, someone who has no teacher for his awakening. Of course, as a Bodhisattva, the Bodhisattva had many teachers, correct? But none of those teachers taught him the middle path. None of those teachers taught him the Noble Eightfold Path. None of those teachers taught him the way to the ultimate truth. And so he has no teacher. He embarked on the middle path by himself. So Samma Sambuddha, number 1, it means he is self-awakened, self-enlightened. Number 2, Samma Sambuddha means he is supremely awakened. Supremely awakened means he has the ability to teach other people. He has the ability to institute an order of disciples, institute a sangha. He is able to found, to establish, to build, to institute an order of disciples, an institution, a sangha, to carry on his teachings. This is what it means by Samma Sambuddha. So number 1, self-awakened. Number 2, supremely awakened. He has the ability to start a body of disciples, a sangha of disciples, a community of disciples. That is what is so special about the Samma Sambuddha. All right, let me take a break at this moment and give me 1 minute break. I need to adjust something. All right, so we have a participant gave the answer, Bodh Gaya. Yeah, Bodh Gaya is pretty much the same name as Buddha Gaya. Let me look at the Zoom chat and see if there are any more questions. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, yeah, just give me 1 minute. 1 minute. I need to adjust, make an adjustment. All right. Excellent. I am back. All right. So let us carry on with our learning of the life of the Buddha. So at this point, he has become the Buddha. He has become the Sammasambuddha. But the life of the Buddha has not yet ended. In fact, the life of the Buddha has just begun, so to speak, because he just became a Buddha recently. So the next part of our learning is very important for the junior level. All right, for the junior level, you have to know the 7 weeks. The 7 weeks after his Buddhahood, the 7 weeks after his awakening, you have to know what he did in each of the 7 weeks. So have you already studied this? Have you already memorized this? What happened in each of the 7 weeks? All right, let's look at the pictures. Let's look at the photos here. All right, first week. What does this look like? First week. If you know the answer, you can unmute yourself and share your answer, or you can type your answer in the Zoom chat. First week, what was happening? Okay, let's look at the chat. All right, meditation, enlightenment. Okay. First week was the bliss of enlightenment. So remember, at this point, the Buddha was a new Buddha. Yeah, he was newly a Buddha. He just newly realized this truth of Nibbana. So for him, it is a very excellent joy. It is very profound happiness. And so he was enjoying the bliss of freedom. He was enjoying the joy of freedom. Okay. Number two, he was expressing his gratitude to the Bodhi tree for providing shelter and support to him throughout his journey of practice. All right. Third week, he was walking back and forth on the bridge. Okay. Fourth week, in a chamber, he was contemplating. Fifth week, he was meditating under a tree, and he was distracted or disturbed. He was attacked by some evil forces. All right, and then fourth week, the Naga king, the serpent king, was protecting him, sheltering him from the rain. And the seventh week, he received his first two lay disciples, his first two lay devotees. All right, so that's a summary of what happened. Let's look at each of the 7 weeks. All right. First week, Vimutti Sukha, the happiness of freedom, the joy of liberation. Vimutti means liberation, freedom. Sukha means joy or happiness. All right, the joy of freedom. The second week, he was expressing his gratitude to the Bodhi tree. And sometimes in the past year paper, you will see this question: what is the first lesson that the Buddha taught the world? Now, this is the answer: gratitude. Because when he first became a Buddha, he expressed his gratitude to the Bodhi tree. All right. Third week, Ratana means jewels or gem, right? So we say the triple gem, the T Ratana. Ratana Chankamana, this pathway of this bridge or this promenade, this jewel pathway that the Buddha walked back and forth. All right. And the fourth week, in a jeweled chamber, all right, in this chamber, he was contemplating the Abhidhamma. And then fifth week, Mara sent his daughters. You have to know the names, yeah? The three daughters of Mara, Tanha, Rati, and Raga. When the Buddha was meditating under the Ajapala banyan tree, the three daughters of Mara came to try to attack him, to disturb him, to distract him. Okay. And the sixth week, the Buddha was under the Mukalinda tree. and the Naga king was protecting him and sheltering him. Right, and final week under the Rajayatana tree, okay, and then the first two lay disciples visited him and paid respect to him, Tapussa and Bhalika, and they offered rice and honey cakes to him. Oh, this one you also have to know, yeah, for the exam. They offered rice and honey to the Buddha. At this point, there was not yet a Sangha. There was not yet a Bhikkhu Sangha, Bhikkhuni Sangha, not yet. All right? There was not yet an Ubato Sangha, a dual Sangha. Yes, Jadrian?
Teacher, I think I forgot to say he tricked him with his hair.
Ah, yes. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder. Thank you, Jadrian. Now, at this point, there was no third pillar of refuge yet. There was not yet an Ubato Sangha, all right, a dual Sangha, not yet. And there was also no Savaka Sangha yet, no Arya Sangha yet. There was no noble disciple yet. So Tapussa and Balika only took refuge in the Buddha and the Dhamma. And yes, thank you, Jadrian, for that sharing. The Buddha cut off the strands of his hair to give to Tapussa and Balika as a relic, all right, as a relic. All right, so there's this hair relics that the Buddha gave to Tapussa and Balika, the first two lay devotees. Okay, now, after these 7 weeks, something happened. What happened? Something special happened. Imagine you have achieved your goal. Let's say you have achieved your goal in life. I'm not sure what's your goal. Maybe your goal is to become the CEO of a company. You want to be an entrepreneur. You want to be a managing director. You want to be a chief executive officer of a large multinational corporation. Maybe your goal is you want to earn a lot of money. Yeah, you want to be financially independent. You want to achieve financial freedom. You want to be able to have a comfortable life, a luxurious life. Maybe that's your goal. Whatever your goal is, if you have attained your goal in life, after that, what would you do? This is very interesting question. Some of you might say, well, now I don't have to study, I don't have to work, I can travel the world. Let me travel the world. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to Paris. I want to go to New Zealand. Any of you want to travel? What are some of your dream destinations in the world? Okay, now you can type in the chat. This one is a fun question. Where do you want to travel to in the world? All right, let me see some answers in the chat. If you have attained your goal in life, you might want to travel the world. Where do you want to go? Which country do you want to explore? All right.
Teacher,
Yes.
I'll explore the Nepal because I want to see Buddha's how do I say it, the tomb of it,
Yeah.
and then I want to explore his history and prove it's real.
Wow. That's a very good aspiration. Thank you, Jadrian, for sharing. You want to go to Nepal, you want to go to India, you want to go to some of the important spiritual pilgrimage places and explore the life of the Buddha to learn about the history of our Lord Buddha, the history where he was born, where did he practice, where did he attain enlightenment, where did he teach the Dhamma. Beautiful. That's a beautiful answer. Thank you, Jadrian, for the answer. Yeah. You want to explore the history of the Buddha. You want to prove that it's real. Wow. Okay. Well, we have many historians and scholars who have been to those places. They have done the archaeological investigation at those historical sites. All right. So it's good. You can join them and join the scholarship, join the scholarly study of history. All right. Let's look at some answers. All right. Jaden says America. All right. The United States. Nepal. Im says Lumbini Garden. Yeah, to see where the Buddha was born. The USA, the United States of America, Rome, all right, okay, you want to go to Rome? Yeah, Rome is also a place full of history, a very historical, very beautiful place as well. Tibet, Bhutan, China, New York, back to your hometown, Nepal, the Silk Road, China, the Republic of China, US, Mexico, wow, Mexico. Okay, good, all right, very good places. So where did the Buddha go? Did the Buddha go traveling? Did he go to the United States? Did he go to New Zealand? Did he go to China? The Buddha started to contemplate. What should he do? Should he share this profound truth, this profound message with the world? Initially, the Buddha was hesitant. The Buddha was not so sure. Why? Because he reflected on the depth and the profundity of this Dhamma. Depth and profundity. This Dhamma is deep and profound, very subtle, not easy to see, not easy to understand, not easy to realize. And so the Buddha was wondering, he was pondering, maybe it would be quite difficult, maybe it would be quite tiring, maybe it would be quite troublesome to teach this Dhamma. Some of you might know, you might resonate with the Buddha's feelings, you might resonate with the Buddha's experience when you try to share the Dhamma, correct? Some of you are Dhamma school teachers, you are Dhamma school facilitators. When you teach the students the Dhamma, sometimes it is not so easy to teach. Sometimes the students would not be able to understand it so quickly. They might take some time, it might take some effort to explain to them. Some of you, maybe you have tried to share the Dhamma with your friends. Have you tried to share the Dhamma with your friends? You go to your friend and you say, wow, you know, my dear friend, the Buddha is very wise. The Buddha is very kind and loving and gentle and compassionate. He has found this incredible truth. He has found this very wise truth. So let me share the Buddha's teachings with you. And then your friend says, yeah, who cares about the Buddha lah? I don't care about his teachings. I want to have fun and enjoy my life. Jadrian, you want to share your experience, Jadrian?
That happened to me. My entire tuition center, they declined me only for Buddhist, only for Buddhist students. They all declined.
It's okay, Jadrian. Do not give up. Ma nivata. Do not falter. Thank you, Jadrian, for sharing your experience. This is very real. So many of us have tried to share the Dhamma with our friends. It's not so easy. Some people, they don't care about the truth. Some people, they do not care about the long-term happiness in their lives. They don't care about life and death. They don't care about rebirth. They don't care about their future destinations. So some people, they might not want to hear what you want to say. Right? Imagine you go into a party, you know, party, friends are having party and they're all drinking alcohol there. And then you go in and say, you know, the Buddha tells us that drinking alcohol is bad for our health. Drinking alcohol is bad for our mindfulness, bad for our mindful practice. And then they all would ignore you, probably. They'll go on having fun and partying, probably. So this is not so easy. Sharing Dhamma is not so easy. Some of you already know this, right? Some of your friends have rejected you. Some of your friends have declined your invitation, right, to hear the message of Dhamma. And so the Buddha also pondered this. The Buddha also considered this. And so in the beginning, the Buddha was hesitant. He was not so sure. After the 7 weeks, the Buddha started to consider. Then this happened. Nasati vata bho loko, vinasati vata bho loko. Brahma Sahampati. You all know who is Brahma Sahampati? All of you should know this.
I know.
Yes.
His friend.
Oh, no, that one is Gati Gara Mahabrahma.
Oops.
That one is Gati Kara Mahabrahma. This one is another person, Brahma Sahampati. Who is Chester?
He's the person that asked the Buddha to teach for like 3 times and
Yes, 3 times.
until the 3rd time the Buddha said yes.
Buddha accepted.
Yes, very good, very good. Thank you.
He thought he wanted to be a silent Buddha, but he never.
Thank you.
He said to him that there's still some people in this world want to learn.
Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, all of you know the story. Very good. Brahma Sahampati. He saw Brahma Sahampati is not a human being. Yeah? He is one of the heavenly beings, very high up. And he saw that the Buddha was hesitant. The Buddha was not deciding to teach the Dhamma. And he saw how dangerous this is for the world. Loka. Loka means the world. 这个世界, the world. Nasati vata bo loko, vinasati vata bo loko. This is very strong word. This is a very strong word. Very, very strong words. Nasati, vinasati. 这个世界要毁灭了，这个世界要灭亡了。This world is lost. This world is destroyed. Nasati loko, vinasati loko. This is how serious the world will be if the Buddha did not teach the Dhamma. Do you all see how serious this is? Brahma Sahampati descended from heaven. Imagine you are in a very beautiful place, very luxurious place. You need to go out into a very dirty place, a very unpleasant place. This is what happened. Brahma Sahampati descended from heaven to come to earth in order to request the Buddha. He said, alas, the world will be lost, the world will be destroyed, the world will perish if you do not teach the Dhamma. This is a very urgent message, brothers and sisters. Do we see how serious this message of Dhamma is? How important, how urgent it is for the world? Brahma Sahampati came down, the world will be lost, the world will be destroyed, and he expressed the urgency of this message of Dhamma. And then Jadrian and Chester and some of the participants, you are right. Brahma Sahampati made the request to the Buddha, and he said, there are those with little dust in their eyes. There are those who can understand the Dhamma. Please teach them the Dhamma. If they do not hear the Dhamma, they will perish. They will not find the way to freedom and happiness. So the Buddha looked out at the world and he saw that there are those with little dust in their eyes. And the Buddha said, yes. The Buddha decided to embark on his mission. The Buddha decided to teach. Brothers and sisters, the reason you are here today, the reason I am here today, the reason you and I are here today is because Brahma Sahampati saw how important this Dhamma is, and the Buddha looked out at the world with his compassion. The Buddha saw our potential. You have the potential for wisdom and mindfulness. I have the potential for wisdom and mindfulness. How do I know this? Is it because I have the power to see the world and look into your minds? No, I don't have any jhana powers. All right, I don't have any jhana powers to look into your mind and look into your potential. The potential of your heart for liberation and for transformation. I don't have that power. Brothers and sisters, who has that power? Who has that power? Who has the power to see the potential of your heart? The Buddha has that power, and he saw it. He looked out at the world with the eye of the Buddha, Buddha Chaku, the eye of the Buddha, and he saw the potential of each of us. Our heart has the potential for liberation, for transformation, for purification. And so I don't know the potential, but the Buddha saw that potential. And because of this Buddha's vision, because of his compassion, you and I are here today. When the Buddha decided to embark on his mission, whom did he first think of? He need to find some disciples, right? He need to convert some people, all right? He go and convert the world. He has to start somewhere. Whom did he want to start with? Alvin, your answer, yeah?
His 5 friends.
Before the 5 friends, he thought of other people first. Whom did he first think of? Before
His 2 teachers.
Yes, very good. Thank you. His 2 former teachers, Alara Kalama and Udaka Ramaputra, correct. He first thought of them, but they had recently passed away. They were no longer present in the human world to be able to receive his teachings. And these are very, very very highly attained teachers. They are highly skilled in meditation. They have attained the formless realms, the ayatana. They have attained the dimension of nothingness. They have attained the dimension of neither perception nor non-perception. Any one of you have attained dimension of nothingness? Anyone? Any one of you have attained the first jhana, second jhana? Anyone?
Teacher,
Okay.
I want to tell something. We cannot dream of Buddha because he's in the nothingless world. He's out of this world. So we can't even dream of him anymore. We could only see his statues.
Yeah. The Buddha had attained parinibbana. Not nothingness, parinibbana, even higher realm, even a higher attainment, the ultimate attainment, parinibbana. So you see, what I'm trying to say is, many of us, we might not have very highly attained levels of meditation. Have any one of you attained first jhana, second jhana? I'm not sure. Maybe some of you have. Some of you might be meditators. Some of us might not have attained any jhana levels yet. Alara Kalama, he had already attained the dimension of nothingness, the ayatana of nothingness, very high level of jhana, yet he still had not had the opportunity to hear the Dhamma. Do not think that it is very easy to hear the Dhamma. Rare is the opportunity to hear the Dhamma, my brothers and sisters. It's not so easy. The fact that you're able to hear the Dhamma, the fact that you had the opportunity to come into contact with the Dhamma, means you are very fortunate. You are very lucky. You are very blessed. After he thought of the first two teachers, they had passed away. They did not have the ability to hear the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha. The Buddha then thought of his 5 friends, his 5 former companions. Now, the Buddha was at Buddha Gaya, and his 5 former friends, they were at Isipatana. Now, I want all of you to do a Google search. Well, some of you might already know the answer. How far is Buddha Gaya from Isipatana? To journey from Buddha Gaya to Isipatana, how long is the journey? Okay, do a Google search. Okay, do it now. Some of you might already have the answers. Okay. Is it 40 km? 40 km, is it very far or very near? Someone guessed 40 km. All right. Any other answers? Right. Try to. It's very easy. You can do a Google search and you'll find the answer. Buddha Gaya to Isipatana.
Teacher, can you tell again?
Oh, let me share my screen. Yeah.
What is it again?
Yeah. From Buddha Gaya to Isipatana.
Okay.
How long is the journey? How long is the journey? How far?
Buddha Gaya to what?
Isipatana. You can look at Google Maps. This one is Google Maps. This one. From Buddha Gaya to Isipatana.
Now it's called Sarnath.
Yes, correct. You're right.
Let me
The
see.
answer in the chat room.
All right, the answer in the chat
Buddha
box. Thank you. All right. Yes, 200 plus km. 200 plus km. All right. Any one of you have been to India for a pilgrimage trip, for a spiritual pilgrimage? Some of you might have visited Buddha Gaya before. You visited Isipatana before. Anyone? You can type yes, or you can raise your hand. Or anyone has been to those places? Some people have been to spiritual pilgrimage. They've been to India for a spiritual pilgrimage.
Teacher, I think it's like 20 or that kilometers.
200 plus kilometers. 200 plus kilometers.
Oh my God.
But when we go to
Now Kerji Fata, we have car.
Yeah, now we have car. For some of the people who go to India for a spiritual pilgrimage, they usually would take the bus to travel between the places. However, in the time of the Buddha, they did not have cars, they did not have buses, they did not have aeroplane. So how did the Buddha get from Bodh Gaya to Isipatana? How did the Buddha travel? Answer? Anyone? How did the Buddha travel? Answer is walking. Yeah, very good. The Buddha walked for 200 plus kilometers. How long will it
Teacher,
take you
he
to
said
walk?
anything is possible, just you have to move.
Anything is possible. Anyone, have you ran a marathon before? Marathon, 20 kilometers, 40 kilometers.
Oh
Have you
my
walked
gosh,
for
that's like 10 times.
some marathons are maybe 20 kilometers or 40 kilometers. This is 200 plus kilometers. Any one of you walked for 10 kilometers before? Or maybe 5 km, 10 km, 20 km? I'm not sure. But the Buddha walked for 200 plus km in order to go to Isipatana. This is the power of love, the power of compassion. The Buddha was willing to walk so far in order to teach the Dhamma. Why? Because of the Buddha's love for the world, the Buddha's compassion for the world. So he reached Isipatana Deer Park. He taught the first sutta. The first sutta is called the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. The Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. And during this teaching, he taught the middle path. He taught the Four Noble Truths. And the 5 disciples, one of them became enlightened for the first stage of enlightenment. His name is Venerable Anya Kondanya Thera. Anya Kondanya is the one who predicted the future of the Buddha. When he was still a prince, Anya Kondanya was the one who predicted that he would grow up and become the Buddha. All right. So he was the first disciple to attain the first stage of enlightenment called Sotapanna. And then a few days after this, the Buddha taught the second sutta. What is the second sutta? The second sutta is Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. Anatta Lakkhana Sutta. In the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, the Buddha taught the 3 characteristics of existence. Anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering, and anatta, non-self. All right. And after the teaching of the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, all 5 disciples became arahanta. They became liberated ones. They became perfected ones. Arahang. Okay. All 5 disciples. All right. So they are the first 5 arahanta in the world. After that, the Buddha went to teach Yasa. Yasa is the son of a very rich man.
Oh, teacher,
Yasa,
I know that story.
yeah, you know that story. Very good. Yasa became a Sotapanna and then also became an Arahant. And Yasa asked for ordination. He asked to become an ordained bhikkhu, a member of the Bhikkhu Sangha. And he asked to be ordained. The Buddha granted this ordination. And now Venerable Yasa became a Sangha member, became a bhikkhu. And Yasa invited 54 friends to also join him in learning the Dhamma. So Yasa invited 54 friends. How many friends have you invited? How many friends have you invited to learn the Dhamma? You have your Sunday Dhamma School, right? Some of you are from the Mahindrama Pali Sunday School. Have you invited any friends to go to the Sunday Dhamma School with you? Anyone? How many friends have you invited?
Teacher, I think we cannot invite because our class is the biggest class in that.
So it's okay. Some of you might not be at the level of Venerable Yasa yet. It's okay. Slowly, gradually. All right. Venerable Yasa invited his 54 friends, and all of them also became arahants. So now there are 60 arahanta disciples in the world. Plus the Buddha himself, there are 61 arahants in the world. Now, let me explain the 4 stages of awakening so that all of you can know what are the 4 stages of awakening. Yeah. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami. These are the first 3 stages. Yeah, first 3 stages. At the first stage, Sotapanna, you gain a vision of Nibbana. You gain Dhamma Chakku, the eye of Dhamma, the vision of Dhamma. Dhamma Chakku, Sotapanna. When you attain Sotapanna, you would have a maximum of 7 rebirths left. You would not be born an 8th time, maximum. Maximum only 7 times reborn. And then you would attain Arahanta. Okay. Sakadagami, you weaken your defilements. You weaken the defilements of Kama Raga, sensual infatuation, sensual desire. You also weaken Biyapada, ill will or malicious will or malice. Okay. When you reach anagami, the third stage, you eradicated, means no more these two defilements. Kama, raga, and vyapada eradicated, no longer there. But still, you have not yet eradicated all the asava, all the defilements, all the impurities, not yet. You have eradicated some of them. Sotapanna, sakadagami, anagami. Finally, the final level, the highest level, perfection. The fourth and the final stage of Nibbana, you become a perfected one. You are an arahanta, an arahang, or an araha. All right, these are some of the Pali words. So this is the fourth stage. All right. After the preaching of the Anatta Lakkhana Sutta, the 5 disciples became perfected, became arahanta, and then after a while, 60 disciples of the Buddha became arahanta. And when there are 60 arahanta disciples in the world, the Buddha gave them his mission statement, his calling, his order. He instituted the order of bhikkhus, the order of disciples. And the Buddha gave this mission statement. Go forth, the Buddha says. Go forth, go out into the world. Bhikkhave, for the good of the many, for the joy of the many, out of compassion for the world, for the good, for the welfare, for the well-being of Deva Manusa. Deva means the heavenly beings, the gods and goddesses. Manusa means the human beings. For the well-being of gods and humans. Let not 2 of you go by one way. Let not 2 of you. Oops, there's a mistake. Let me edit my slide. Let not 2 of you. All right. Let not 2 of you go by one way. What does that mean? It means that everyone has to go to a different direction, a different area to preach the Dhamma, so that they don't overlap, so that no 2 people will go into the same direction. They go to different areas, all 61 areas and directions in India to go.
Excuse me. That means everyone goes to the different way of India spread it out, is it?
Correct. All 61 directions in India, they all go into different directions. Not no 2 of them go in the same direction. Yeah. Go forth for the good of the many, for the joy of the many, out of compassion for the world. Brothers and sisters, this is why we share the Dhamma, because of compassion. We want the world to receive the truth. Just like Brahma Sahampati, we see how important the Dhamma is for the world. The Buddha gives the mission statement, proclaim the Dhamma that is beautiful in the beginning, beautiful in the middle, beautiful in the end. Declare the complete purity of the holy life, both in the spirit and the letter. Go forth and preach Dhamma. Okay, so what is the Dhamma? What is this Dhamma that we want to preach and that we want to learn? All right. So for your syllabus, for your exam syllabus, preliminary stage, you have to know Tisarana, Pancha Sila, Dasa Kusala Kama. I've already explained this. All right, you've already learned this. Now for junior stage level, you need to know a bit more. Okay, you need to know the Atangika Sila, the 8 precepts. You need to know Dasa Parami, the 10 perfections. You need to know Chattari Arya Satchani, the 4 noble truths. And you need to know the Mangala Sutta, the 38 blessings. All right. So preliminary stage is a bit easier, but you can still learn. You can still learn the junior stage Dhamma content. All right. The junior stage, you need to learn a bit more. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Let me look at the Zoom chat box. Jaden was sharing his experience, marathon Penang Bridge. Okay, good. All right, no questions. All right, let me any questions? Anyone? Yeah. All right, let me proceed. Okay, good. Now, today I will talk about the Dasa Kusala Karma, Atangika Sila, and also the Noble Eightfold Path. All right, I won't explain all of this because we do not have enough time, but I will finish all of this next week. All right, but I'll explain some of them. Okay, good. Now let's start with the Dasa Kusala Karma. The Dasa Kusala Karma is the 10 skillful actions, and the primary grounds, I've explained this before, the 3 primary grounds of righteousness is dana, sila, bhavana, the 3 grounds, the 3 foundations. Punya, kiriya, vatu. Vatu means a ground or a foundation, all right? Dana, sila, bhavana, the first 3. And then after that, there are the rest of 7, all right? Apachayana, veya, vacha, patidana, patanumodana. Dhamma, savana, dhamma, desana. Okay, I want all of you to notice the virtuous cycle of this skillfulness. Virtuous cycle. Let me type in a Zoom chat. Virtuous cycle. All right, let me explain. When we do patidana and patanumodana, patidana means we share our goodness. Our goodness, our good actions, we share the merit with other people. And then this act of sharing merit is itself meritorious. You understand? So by sharing merit, you actually get more and more merit. Do you understand? Now, patanumodana means you rejoice in other people's sharing of merit. So when you rejoice in other people's sharing of merit, the act itself is also meritorious. So again, you gain more merit. So the nature of goodness, the nature of righteousness is that it forms a virtuous cycle. It means that it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. Do you understand? It continues to grow and increase and multiply. The more you rejoice, the more merit you have. And then with the more merit you have, you share the merit. And then when you share the merit, you also gain more merit. And then you rejoice. And then this cycle keeps continuing. This is the beauty of the Dhamma, brothers and sisters. Dhamma savana and Dhamma desana. Dhamma savana means listening to the Dhamma. And then Dhamma desana means you share the Dhamma, right? So you need to have both parties, right? Someone teaching the Dhamma, someone listening to the Dhamma. And so they rejoice in each other's merit. They also give the opportunity to each other to perform the meritorious acts. This is, again, the mutual relationship between the practitioners of Dhamma. We give each other the opportunity to increase our meritorious conduct, to multiply our righteousness. We give each other this opportunity. You give me the opportunity to share Dhamma, right? By participating in this online tutorial, you give me the opportunity to gain good karma, to multiply my righteousness, right? Because I'm sharing Dhamma. At the same time, I'm also giving you the opportunity to multiply your righteousness because you're listening to the Dhamma. Again, this is the very beautiful nature of the Dhamma, all right? By doing Dhamma savana and Dhamma desana, we are doing Dittiju karma also. What is Dittiju karma? This is the word I want to share with you. Dittiju karma, 3 words, yeah? Ditti uju karma. Karma means the action. The action. Uju means upright, straight. A straight path, an upright path. So when we think of the word uju, we think of an upright character, an upright conduct. We have integrity. We are upright in our conduct. We are straight. We are not deviating from the path. All right. Ditti means our views, our perspective on the world. Remember, I've shared about this before. Ditti means our view of reality, our understanding of the world, our 三观, 价值观, 人生观, 世界观, our inner values, our view of life, our perspective on life, and our understanding of the world, our worldview. This is panya. Dittiju karma is important because ultimately our perspective needs to be aligned with the truth. Ultimately, our perspective needs to be transformed and purified. That is when our view attains Nibbana. So we need to continue to correct our views, continue to straighten our views, continue to clarify our views, continue to purify our views. Dittiju karma means to straighten our understanding, to straighten our view. All right. So this is the 10 skillful actions. All right. Okay, now let's go to Atangika Sila. Atangika Sila is the 8 precepts. The 8 precepts. So you've learned about the 5 precepts. Now this one is the 8 precepts. Okay. Now, the 5 precepts are also here, but there are additional precepts. The third precept in the 5 precepts, it is kamesu michachara, to refrain from sexual misconduct. in the 8 precepts, the third precept is change. Change to abrahmacharya viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from sexual activity. Not just sexual misconduct, but all sexual activity you are refraining from it. Okay. Now, then there are additional 3 precepts. Okay, this was a very long one. So let's look at the precepts. Vikala bhojana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Vikala. Kala means the time. Vikala means improper time. Okay. Bhojana means food, to eat, solid food. So to take solid food, at the improper time, that is the 6th precept here. All right. So you abstain from taking food at the improper time, means after noon. All right. Noon doesn't mean 12 o'clock. Yeah. Noon means solar noon. SOLAR. Solar noon. Solar noon means the point at which the sun is at the highest point. All right. So in Malaysia is around 1 o'clock. All right. 1 p.m. All right. So after solar noon. Okay. Now, next one is very long. Okay. And you abstain from many, many, many things. All right. Let's look at it. I undertake the precept to refrain from dancing, singing, gita. Gita means singing, music and entertainment. From wearing garlands, mala means garland, anguli mala, if you remember the name, anguli mala, mala means a garland. From wearing garlands, perfumes, cosmetics, and jewelry. All right. So, things that are entertaining and things that beautify, right? Cosmetic beautification, you abstain from these things. Okay. So that's the 7th precept. And for the last precept, I undertake the precept to refrain from using high or luxury beds and seats. So you do not sleep on high beds or luxurious beds. So you only sleep on a low bed or just on a mattress on the floor. All right. Okay, good. So these are the 8 precepts. Now, sometimes some people would decide to take on the 8 precepts in certain occasions, on certain occasions. For example, during a meditation retreat, some meditators, you will decide to practice the 8 precepts. Another example is Uposatha. During the Uposatha days, for example, during full moon days, new moon days, new moon and full moon, some practitioners also decide to practice the 8 precepts, all right, to intensify their practice, all right. So this is also a very good karma, a very good practice. Some of you can try it, right? It is not so easy, Some of you might find it difficult. You cannot listen to music for the whole day. Maybe in the evening you feel a bit hungry, you cannot take solid food, all right. So this is also some kind of fasting, but it's a shorter fasting, right? So it might be quite difficult in the beginning, but you can try. As time goes by, your body would get used to it, I hope. All right. So that's the 8 precepts.
How about the 10 precepts?
Okay, the 10 precepts.
Add 2 more.
Yeah, add 2 more. It's even more. It's even more intensive. Even more.
Another is 227.
Sorry. Repeat your question. You have to repeat your question. Oops. Okay, it's all right. Now, 10 precepts. 10 precepts is these 8 precepts plus 1 more only, because the 7th precept is split into 2. All right, split into this and this, split into 2. All right, and after split into 2, then you have 9 precepts already, and then you add 1 more. You add 1 more is you refrain from using gold and silver. You refrain from using money, so you do not use any money at all. So for someone who decides to renounce the householder life, most of you are still lay people, right? Most of you are still householders. You still use money, right? You still use money to buy the food you want or buy the things you want, all right? But if you take the 10 precepts, then you do not even use money, right? So that's the 10 precepts. So that is very intensive, or it's more dedicated. It's more dedicated, okay? All right, next part. Okay, the next one is the Eightfold Path, the Noble Eightfold Path. This is my way of remembering the Eightfold Path. You can have your own way of memorizing it. So how do you remember the Eightfold Path? All right, so anyone, you want to type your answer into the Zoom chat? What are the 8 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path? What are the 8 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path? You can type your answer in the Zoom chat. So this is the part. You have to know, yeah, you have to know. Especially junior level. Junior level, you need to know what are the 8 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, I'm going to give everyone 1 minute to write the answers in the Zoom chat. I'm going to get more water in the meantime. So please write your answers, share in the Zoom chat, yeah. 8 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, give me 1 minute. I go get water, yeah. Okay, excellent. All right. Okay. Wait, no one has answered. All right. There's a participant, Sao Yao Ling, has put the answer, but you sent it in a direct message. So let me just help you type your message in the public Zoom chat. Yeah. All right. Right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right harmony. That's correct. Sister Juliana, thank you. Right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, effort, mindfulness, concentration. Okay, so these are the answers. Okay, very good. Okay, all of you know.
Sure.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yes.
I heard that like how do I call, like nuns, they have 300 precepts, I think.
300 plus precepts, and monks have 200
Yeah,
precepts.
yeah, that's right.
Mm,
A lot.
yeah. There are many rules that the monks and nuns follow. Yeah. So the list of Patimokkha precepts, the list of Patimokkha training rules for the bhikkhu is 227. Okay, in the Theravāda Vinaya, yeah. In other Vinaya is a bit different, slightly different. But in the Theravāda Vinaya, 227 for the bhikkhu, and then
111 for the bhikkhuni.
311 for the bhikkhuni. Yes, thank you. 311 bhikkhuni training rules, Vinaya training rules. Patimokkha for the bhikkhuni, 311. Now, this is only the Patimokkha training principles, 227 and 311. But in addition to the Patimokkha training principles, there are actually more rules, yeah? Very minor rules, but there are actually more rules. So there are hundreds of rules that the bhikkhu and bhikkhunis follow, all right? So for you, you follow how many rules? 5 rules, 5 training principles. And then you also follow the
5
Eightfold Path.
only.
Yeah, you follow 5 precepts and you follow the Noble Eightfold Path. So 8 things you have to do. Okay, not too bad. Compared to 227, it's not too bad. All right, Im has shared her way of memorizing. VT Salem I. I stands for immersion, right immersion. Okay, yeah, that's one way to remember. Okay, I can share with you my way of remembering, but it's up to you. You can use whatever word you want to use, but the English word is not so important in the sense that it is more important to know the meaning than to know the exact word. I repeat, it is more important to know the meaning than to know the word. The reason is because different teachers and different Buddhist authors they might use different words to translate the teachings. So you need to know the meaning. That's more important. Especially for the exam, you have to be careful. What are the words used for the exam? So let me share with all of you. My way of remembering it. You can use these ways if it helps you. Now, my way of memorizing is Visalams or Salem cut. Okay, I share with you all. Now, Salem cut, you have to move the UT to forward. You have to move the UT forward. UT move forward. All right. Visalams or Salem cut, UT move forward. All right. You can have your own way. The reason I use it this way is because it's easy to pronounce, easy to say, easy to remember. Visalams or Salem cut. All right. So these are the words. Okay. Now these are my translation. These are more common translations, but they might not be my favorite translation. I might have my own favorite translation. For example, for right effort, I actually like right endeavor more. Right samaditi, I like the translation right perspective, for example. But it's not, again, the translation itself, the English word itself is not the most important thing. What is more important is you have to understand the meaning of each word. Okay. Now for the exam, the more common translation is this one. Understanding, thought, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness. And usually in the exam, you see the word concentration. Okay, usually in the exam, you see the translation concentration. All right. All right. So that's the common one in the exam. All right. You will see these translation more commonly. But again, let's try to understand the meaning of the word. All right. The first factor of the Noble Eightfold Path is understanding or view or perspective. A right view, a right understanding, a right understanding about the reality of life, having the right perspective to understand what is going on in the world, how the world relates to ourselves, and how we should practice in the world, how we should behave in the world. That is the right view. That is the beginning of the path, because the right view, the right perspective, the right understanding will influence and impact all the subsequent factors of the path. Right? So this is how important right view is. All right, the second factor is right thought or right intention or right resolve. Someone gave the translation just now in the Zoom chat, right resolve. It means sama sankapa. The word is sankapa. Sankapa means the inclination of the mind, the movement of the mind, the intention of the mind. So right thought, right motivation, right intention, right purpose, right resolve, right aspiration. These are different ways to translate the word. All right. So again, it is more important to understand the meaning of the word rather than the exact translation. All right. Sama sankapa, intention, the thought, the motivation of the mind. All right. The next one is sama vacha. Sama vacha is right speech. Almost everyone translates it the same way. All right, right speech. The next one is sama kamanta. Also, everyone translates it the same way. Right action. All right. And then right livelihood. Sama ajiva. Right speech, right action, right livelihood. All right. The next three, effort, mindfulness, and composure, they are related to our samadhi, our mental cultivation, our meditation practice. All right. So right effort and then right mindfulness, and then samadhi is a very difficult word to translate. All right. Composure, stillness, concentration, unification. These are different ways to translate the word samadhi. Not so easy to translate. Another translation is mental stability. All right. Samadhi means a mind that is unified, a mind that is composed, a mind that is calm and collected. That is the meaning of samadhi. All right. Not so easy to translate it. All right. So Salem cut, S-A-L-E-M-C-U-T. Salem cut, UT, you move forward. All right. And then this is Visalams, V-I-S-A-L-E-M-S, Visalams. All right. This is my way. Maybe it helps you, right? If it helps you, you can memorize it this way. If you have your own way of memorizing it, please share. You can use your own way. You can also share your way with us, right? How do you memorize it? Okay. All right. So these are the 8 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path. Now, the 8 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path fall under the 8 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path fall under the 3 components of the threefold training, TSIKA, the threefold training. All right. Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Remember, we have learned this in the first week. Second week. In the second week, we have learned this. All right. Speech, action, livelihood fall under Sila, our integrity. Effort, mindfulness, composure, Samadhi fall under Samadhi, our mental cultivation. And then The right understanding, the right thought fall under discernment, our panya, our wisdom. Okay, so you have to understand this categorization. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the Sangha. I'm going to run through a few. Okay, I'm going to go over time again today, but it's okay. I think some of you can wait for about 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes, yeah. Because I have a lot to cover. So now let's look at some of the important disciples of the Sangha. I'm going to go over some of the important stories, and the other stories we can continue next week. All right. So these are two kings that are very important to the mission of the Buddha. They supported the Buddha in many ways. All right. So King Pasenadi and King Bimbisara. King Pasenadi is the king of Kosala. The capital city of Kosala is Savatthi. All right. What is the capital city of Malaysia? Anyone? What is the capital city of Malaysia? Kuala Lumpur. Very good. Very good. What is the capital city of the United States of America? Is it New York? Or is it San Francisco? Or is it Hawaii? Or is it... Yes, Maple got it right. It's Washington. Yes, thank you. Washington is correct. What is... Okay, let's try another one. What is the capital city of China? Oh, this one very easy lah. What is the capital city of China? Beijing. Yeah, Beijing is the capital city. What is the capital city of Japan? Japan. Capital city of Japan. Okay, Chester, Jaden, you got it right. Tokyo. What is the capital city of Australia? Ah, this one, huh? Australia. What is the capital city of Australia? This one a bit tricky, a bit tricky. Is it Melbourne? Is it Sydney?
No, teacher, is Cindy. Cindy.
Is it Sydney? Or is it Melbourne?
It's Cindy for sure. You got the what? I forgot already. It's Cindy.
Okay, so I tell you the answer. The answer is neither. It's not Sydney. It's also not Melbourne. The capital city.
Okay. I don't know.
Google it. Google it. You can Google it. What is the capital city of Australia?
Right.
Yes, Kaylee, you got it right. Doris, you got it right. Canberra. Yeah, Canberra is the capital city of Australia. These are a bit tricky. A lot of people think it's Melbourne or Sydney, but it's not. I know it's okay. I got it wrong too last time. When I was a student, I also answered it wrongly. It's okay. What is the okay? Let's do one last one. What is the capital city of the United Kingdom? England.
London.
London. Very easy. All right. So
but the Great
city
Fire
of
started.
Kosala, yeah, repeat that.
No, the Great Fire started.
The Great Fire started. The capital city of Kosala is Savatthi. And the capital city of Magadha is Rajagaha. All right. So King Pasenadi is the king of Kosala. King Bimbisara is the king of Magadha. And these two kings, they were very important as supporters of the Buddha. All right. Because as kings, you are very powerful, right? So you can encourage your followers, all right, your people to follow the Buddha. All right. And there are some very important suttas that the Buddha delivered to King Pasenadi and King Bimbisara. So if you learn these suttas, you can understand, oh, this is how the Buddha taught the leaders to rule the country. This is how the Buddha taught the leaders of the nation, the leaders of the state, to rule, to govern with wisdom, to govern with justice, to govern with righteousness, to govern with integrity.
That's why people like Harapan.
That's why people like Pakatan Harapan. Many of our political leaders today, they might or they might not follow these principles of righteousness, principles of justice, principles of integrity. So next time, if your
Harapan is Buddhist.
Harapan is not Buddhist. Just let me clarify. Harapan is multi-racial and multi-coalition. Multi-party coalition. So Harapan is...
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Relax. Calm down. It's okay. The state elections is over already. We can wait for the next election. All right. Now, Harapan is multiracial and multi-party coalition. All right. They're not strictly Buddhist. Okay. Let me go on. All right. What was I going to say? Okay, yes. So next time, if you want to if your friend asks about how can political leaders lead the country with wisdom, you can share with them the teachings of the Buddha. How did the Buddha advise the kings of his time to rule the nation? Yeah. How did the Buddha advise the kings and the queens, the royalty of his time, to lead the nation, to govern the country? All right. So to govern the kingdom. All right. So this is very important teaching. So next time you go to vote, you can also check, is this party, is this politician, is this leader following the principles of the Buddha, following the principles of righteousness, justice, fairness, equality, integrity, and wisdom that the Buddha had taught? You can also check. Some of you can vote already, right? Some of you are of the legal age to vote, right? Any of you, you cannot vote yet, right? So I know, Jadrian, you can't vote yet, right? You're not
Teacher,
old enough, right?
a lot of people say if it's me, I'm gonna vote. But last time is what like 21 years old. Now it's
now it's 18 years old. Yeah, the voting age has been lowered. So next time if you vote, some of you are too young, but when you're old enough to vote, you need to understand, what did the Buddha say about leadership? What did the Buddha say about governance? So you can check how to select a good leader, how to elect a good leader. Understand? All right, good. So we have talked about this before. Sangha, some of the important disciples you have to know. All right, these are some of the important disciples you have to know. The chief disciples. Who are the chief disciples? Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana, Venerable Kema, Venerable Uppalavana. All right. And then Venerable Upali and Venerable Ananda and Venerable Mahakassapa. These three venerables, they played a very important role in the first council. Venerable Mahakassapa was the president, the leader of the first council. He was the one who presided over the first council. And then Venerable Upali is the one who recited the Vinaya, and Venerable Ananda is the one who recited the Sutta. So these three people are very important in the first council, okay? Excuse me. And then Venerable Mahapajapati Gotami, she is the foster mother of the Buddha. She is the one who nurtured and raised the Buddha, all right, as a prince, as the Bodhisattva. Venerable Mahapajapati Gotami. As a mother, she was sad when the prince had to leave to search for the truth. But of course, the prince came back. The Buddha came back to his kingdom. Where is the Buddha's kingdom? Kapilavatthu. So the Buddha came back to his family, to his birthplace, not his birthplace, to his place of his childhood, right? His kingdom, right? Kapilavatthu, and he brought the Dhamma to his family members. And so Venerable Yasodhara, the Buddha's former wife, Venerable Rahula, the Buddha's son, and Venerable Mahapajapati Gotami, the foster mother of the Buddha, all three of them became monastic disciples. They became bhikkhu and bhikkhunis, right? And they all attained awakening. They all attained Nibbana under the Buddha. So the Buddha came back to his family. So Venerable Mahapajapati Gotami is especially important because she is the one who founded the order of nuns together with the Buddha. She is the one who took the leadership role to lead the nuns, the bhikkhunis, to request the Buddha to start the order of bhikkhunis. All right, so Venerable Mahapajapati Gotami was the first bhikkhuni. All right.
Teacher.
Yep.
His son was really curious to learn the Buddhist one, the Buddha's son.
Yeah, Venerable Rahula. Yeah. Yeah, Venerable Rahula. What about him? Yeah, the son of the Buddha. Go on.
He is really curious of Buddhist. One time when his father was out, he followed him.
Yeah. So Venerable Rahula, he is known as someone who is Sikha Kamo. He loves the training. He loves the discipline. So Venerable Rahula is a very good student. We should learn from Venerable Rahula. He is very eager to seek for advice and admonishment. So when he did something wrong, he is very eager to seek for the teachers to correct him, to give him their feedback, to give him their teaching, their admonishment, their advice, so that he can learn from his mistakes and he can learn to improve himself. So Venerable Rahula is someone who is very eager to learn. He follows the Buddha, he follows Venerable Ananda, he follows a lot of the teachers and the senior disciples to learn from them. So he loves the teaching, he loves the Dhamma, he loves the Sikha, the training. Sikha Kamo. He loves the training. And so we should be like Venerable Rahula. We should be like a good student. All right, Venerable Rahula. Thank you, Jadrian, for the sharing. All right. And then Venerable Angulimala, a very special student, very special disciple of the Buddha. We are going to explore this story next week. All right. And then Visakha and Anatta Pindika, two important supporters of the Sangha. All right. Also, we're going to learn this next week. Okay, let me see how much time we have. Okay, we're already over time. It's okay. Let me take 10 more minutes. Yeah. Let me share 2 more stories. Okay. All right. The first story I want to talk about Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamoggallana. And the second story I want to talk about Venerable Yasodhara and Venerable Rahula. Okay. So we have talked a little bit about them already. So let's go through them. The first one is Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamoggallana. We have talked about this before in last week, second week. So you often see Venerable Mahamoggallana when in drawings or in pictures, he's in blue. That's because he has a darker skin, all right? Okay, yeah. So this is the Buddha, Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana. I love this picture. I love this picture. It's a beautiful image. Okay, now during the Buddha's time, there are 6 teachers. There are many other teachers as well. But these 6 teachers are very prominent, very, very important teachers of the Buddha's time. So in today's world, who are some of the important spiritual teachers of today's world? You might know some names, all right? Okay, so you might know some names, for example, different religions, all right? Different scriptures, okay, from other religions, all right? So, but in the Buddha's time, these are 6 teachers, Cha Satta. Cha means 6, Satta, the teachers. Cha Satta, the 6 teachers who are very important in the Buddha's time, all right? So these are the 6 of them, their names. Purana Kassapa, Makhali Gosala, Ajita Kesa Kambali, Pakudha Kachayana, Sanjaya Belati Putta, Niganta Nata Putta. All right. Until today, many of these teachers, their disciples are no longer around, right? Have you heard of any of these teachers? Have you heard of anyone who is a follower of Makali Gosala? Anyone? Have you heard of anyone who is a follower of Pakudha Kachayana? Anyone? Right. So many of their teachings are no longer around. Okay. But the Buddha's teaching is still around. Why? Because we have Venerable Upali and Venerable Ananda. They continue to memorize the teachings
Teacher,
and they continue to pass down the teachings. Yes,
without Buddha's friend, we don't have today's meeting.
Yes, correct. Without Venerable Upali, without Venerable Ananda to memorize the teachings, to give us the teachings, we do not have today's lesson. We do not have today's meeting. We do not have today's Zoom gathering, online meeting, because we do not have the teachings at all. We do not have the suttas. We do not have the Vinaya. All right. Many of these teachers, their teachings are already lost, but there's one teacher, their teachings are still around. All right. Niganta Nataputta. Niganta Nataputta, his followers are the followers of this religion called Jainism. So you can still see some of their disciples today in today's world. Yeah. So in fact, in Buddha, in Malaysia, there are maybe 1 or 2 Jain temples. I think there are 2 temples, Jain temples in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken. So there are still some followers of Niganta Nataputta, and the teachings are still around. All right. So if you're interested, you can go and find out, oh, what do they teach? But if you want to know what these 6 teachers teach, you can look into the suttas. In the sutta, the suttas tell us what these 6 teachers teach. All right. So they teach something that is different from the Buddha's teaching. All right, Sister Kuala Cheng.
Yeah, I have a friend who is a Jain, you know.
Oh, you have a friend who is a Jain?
Yes, I have a few friends who are Jains. They are very, very strict with their rules, and they are pure like vegetarian. And I remember one of my friends, he has to go for a ceremony. They have a lot of ceremonies, and they spend like many hours sitting and chanting. And then I asked him, this is in Penang, what do you do? He said, a lot of chanting. Then I said, do you know what you chant? He said, don't know. So, but he's very strict. He follows all the rules. Yeah, so he's a Jain, a Northern Indian. Usually they are Northern Indian. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Sister Kwa. Sister Kwa, Teacher Kwa is one of the teachers at Sunday Dhamma School, Mahindrama. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes,
She
Jadrian's teacher.
she won 2020 Dhamma. Huh? Teacher, I thought yes.
Dhamma test, is it?
Yeah.
The MBE, is it?
Anyways, teacher,
Yes.
Judaism, they don't eat potatoes and carrots because they think that like you pluck one cabbage leaf out, it'll grow another one. But plucking the entire potato is dead. So they just eat
They
like,
are very strange one, you know. They don't eat garlic. They don't
yeah,
eat,
they also don't eat garlic.
yeah, they have a lot of some strange rules, and then the vegetable must leave longer and let the vegetable like not too fresh. They are very, very strict. And then when they walk, they also sweep to make sure they don't step on the ants.
What the
Yes.
strange rule?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Okay. Let's talk about this a little bit. Let's take some time to talk about this since we have brought this up in the discussion. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. Sister Kwa is a Sunday Dhamma School facilitator, yeah, at Mahindrama Pali School. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for joining us today. I know there are many of the participants here who are your students, yeah, in the Sunday Dhamma School, which is great. So, number one, Sister Kwa mentioned like sometimes they don't know what they chant. This one is also very common in the Buddhist world. Be very careful. Sometimes when we do the Buddhist chanting, your friend asks you, hey, do you know what you're chanting? And many of us, we say, oh, we also don't know what we're chanting. So very important, you have to learn, you have to understand, right understanding, samma ditthi, understand what you are chanting, understand what you are learning, understand what you're thinking, understand what you're doing. All right, so this is very important. That's number one. Number two, the reason they don't eat root vegetables. So they do not eat root vegetables is because the vegetables grow underground. Like for example, tomato, potatoes, yeah, carrots, they grow underground, right? The root vegetables. So to kill that is to kill a life. So to them, it's not morally right to take that life, right? So they have very, very strict precepts. They have very, very strict training rules and training principles. So they do not kill the root vegetables. So like potatoes and so on, they do not eat. Yeah, potatoes and carrots. Jadrian has shared with us. Wow, Jadrian, you know quite a bit about Jainism. That's very good. For an 11-year-old, you know a lot more about Jainism than many of us here, which is good. I mean, I'm impressed. That's
I
good.
heard somebody Jainism, he said, pluck one cabbage and it will regrow. But
Yeah.
pluck one potato, it is dead.
Mm. Yep. So maybe Sister Kwa and Jadrian, if you're, I mean, this is not today. I mean, after this, maybe later we can chat a little bit about your friends who are following Jainism, so that I also want to get to know some Jain friends, so I can learn more from them as well, learn more about Jainism from them. So maybe after this, you can let me know, introduce me to some of your friends. All right. So the third one is Sister Kwa mentioned, they have this compassion for all beings. So this one is actually a good virtue. We can learn from them. This one, they sweep the floor in front of them so that they can avoid stepping on any insects. They can avoid stepping on any insects. So this is good, right? So we can learn from them how to have this kind of compassion for small beings, small creatures. So this is
My
actually a
friend
good
also complained it's very troublesome and take a lot of time.
thing.
Not
Yeah.
so practical. It's actually quite tough. It's very tough to follow all these rules in the daily life.
It's not so easy. To some people, even the Buddhist precepts are also quite tough. Even to some people, even the Buddhist precepts are also quite tough. So, for example, when we have today, just this afternoon, there are ants. There are ants on my floor, and I can't kill any of them because I'm following the 5 precepts. So I have to slowly sweep them away, blow them away. I try not to kill any of them. Right. So sometimes even the Buddhist training principles are also quite inconvenient, and they might appear strange to some of our other friends, right? Other friends from other religions. They might say, "Oh, you cannot drink alcohol, so strange." Or you cannot kill insects, cannot kill mosquitoes. Oh, so strange. So, some of these precepts are not so easy to follow. But it is important for all of us to understand the reason behind the training principles. All right, we're not just following the rules for the sake of following rules. You understand what I'm trying to say? We're not just following the rules just to, oh, because the Buddha say we have to follow, so we have to follow the 5 precepts. We have to understand, why do we follow the first precepts? Why do we follow the 5 precepts? Why do we not drink alcohol? Because we want to protect our mindfulness. Why do we not kill any living being? Because we want to have compassion and metta for the small creatures and the small living beings. So this is very important. We have to understand the purpose of undertaking the practice of virtue, the practice of sila, all right, practice of morality. Okay, and one last thing I would add is Jainism also has the practice of self-mortification. So if you look at some of the practices and teachings in the path of the path of the Jain path, all right, they have some teachings of self-mortification. They practice long fasting as well. Some of them practice fasting for a few days, up to 7 days, up to 10 days. It's quite intense, all right? And they have some other practices of self-mortification as well, all right? So this is a very short introduction to the religion of Jainism. But if you want to know more, you can read more and research more, all right? Good discussion. Yeah, Jadrin?
Yeah. Did you went before Gelasi?
I don't think so.
Loxi Temple, what? Jadrin, you're like ambassador for Mahindrama and ambassador
No,
from Penang.
One day I hope I will be able to visit Mahindrama, and then you all can give me a warm welcome.
Brother,
Teacher.
I really like it when you talk about why we want to practice the precept. You know, if you want to look at it in a simplistic way, there's two energy. One is the energy of fear, and one is the energy of love. And the Buddha taught us about energy of love. Because we love ourselves and we love others, then we choose to practice the precept. Whereas there's another energy, is probably a lower energy, is the energy of fear. We are scared some magical being or God will punish us, or we are worried that this magical being won't reward us with what we want. So that is the energy of fear. So if we can understand that, then we can practice our precepts very peacefully and happily. Thank you.
Yes, that's very well said. Thank you so much, Sister Kwa, for sharing. Yeah, when we follow the Buddha's path, we don't want to follow out of fear. You know, and we share the Dhamma also very important. We don't want to convert other people through fear. You know, some people, okay, let me explain this. This is important. The Buddha's method, let me say this. The Buddha's method of conversion is not conversion through intimidation. The Buddha's method of conversion is conversion through inspiration. This is very important. Sometimes we share the Dhamma. You might hear other people share it in a very wrong way. You don't understand the Dhamma and then you share it. You say, hey, you have to follow the Buddha, or else your mother will scold you, your teacher will scold you, or else you'll go to hell. Then you create a lot of fear, create a lot of intimidation. You try to threaten people. This is a wrong method of conversion. Don't do this. Don't do this. Do not use conversion through intimidation, because that was not the way of the Buddha. No. The way of the Buddha is conversion through inspiration. You share with other people the meaning and the purpose of the Dhamma. You share with people the joy and the inspiration of the Dhamma. You share with people the positive energy, the love, what Sister Kwa said, the love and the positive energy of the Dhamma, so that they can be inspired to convert. They can be inspired to follow the Dhamma. That is the Buddha's way of conversion. So it's very important. So what Sister Kwa said is very true. We don't want to create this energy of fear. It's not going to last long. If some of you, you take the exam. Why you study for exam? Because you're scared. You're scared you will fail, right? You don't want to fail. Then this is very negative energy of fear. It's not going to last long. After the exam, then you throw away your books, then you forget everything you learned. But if you understand the true purpose of studying for examinations, the true purpose is to gain knowledge, to gain understanding. Then this is the energy of love. Then you have more motivation. You have the right purpose to study for the examinations. Understand? Don't study because you don't want to fail. That's not helpful, right? It's energy of fear. But study because you love knowledge. Study because you love wisdom. Study because you love your mind. Then that is the positive energy. So this love in the Buddha's language is called, anyone knows? This love in the Buddha's language is called metta. Yes, thank you. Yes, metta. Very good. Metta. This metta is this love energy. Love for ourselves, love for our mind and body, love for other beings, love for life, right? Let's go through the 5 precepts. Number 1 is the love for life. We protect life, protect our life, protect other people's life. The second one is the love for integrity. We want to have the upright character in our livelihood. We earn our living, right? And then we also give to other people. So it's a love for integrity and it's a love for generosity. All right. The third one, no sensual misconduct. It is a love for enjoyment. We want to enjoy life the right way. We don't want to enjoy life the wrong way. All right. The fourth one is a love for truth. The fourth precept, a love for truth. We want to protect the truth. We want to defend the truth. We want to love the truth. And the fifth one is the love for our mind, the love for mindfulness. When we love our mindfulness, we want to protect our mind. We do not want the harmful substances to corrupt our mind, to cloud our mind. Okay, so love is the energy that sustains our practice. Okay, Ethan asked a very good question. What did Ethan ask? Ethan asked, how about the fear of karma? How about the fear of karma? Okay, good question. So let's see how to answer this. I see Jadrian's face lit up. I love Jadrian's expression. All right, this is good. Now, in the beginning of many people's spiritual practice, sometimes we have this fear, right? We are very scared about the wrong things we have done, correct? Some of you might be scared. Oh no, I have told a lie in the past. Oh no, I have drank alcohol in the past. Oh no, maybe I've killed an ant or I've killed a mosquito in the past. Then you have a lot of fear, right? In the beginning, it's okay, it's normal, right? Sometimes, sometimes you need a healthy fear to get you started. But you should go beyond that, right? You should go beyond that. If all we have is fear, then our practice might be a bit shaky because there's a lot of worry and agitation. We are very fearful. Oh no, I've done this in the past. What do I do? But karma, let me remind all of you, the purpose of karma is not to induce fear. The purpose of learning karma is to change our destiny. So when we learn about karma, we don't try to scare ourselves or scare other people. You know, sometimes people you do, oh, you do this are bad karma, you do that are bad karma, oh, you don't do, then you scare other people. But what has been done is in the past. You cannot change it already. So if there are bad karma, if there are bad consequences of our karma, then we learn to accept it. We learn to accept it with responsibility, and we learn to accept it with courage. If we have done something wrong in the past, we might suffer the consequences this life or the next life. Then we learn to accept it. We learn to accept it with patience, patience. And we also learn to accept it with courage. We accept the bad consequences. But what has been done in the past is the past. We do not want to fear it because that's not the purpose of learning karma. The purpose of learning about karma is to change our destiny. We understand that now we have the opportunity to change our actions. In the past, we have done wrong things. Now we can do the right thing so that we can change our destiny, so that we can build and create a better future. All right, you cannot change the past, but you can change the future. All right, so that is what you need to understand about learning karma. All right, I hope that helps, Ethan. Yeah, I hope that helps. Good. All right, nice, excellent. Okay, let me go on. Yeah,
teacher,
Adrian.
can you end? Tomorrow I have school.
Oops. Okay. Okay. Let me take 5 more minutes. All right. I need to finish up these slides. All right. Maybe, yeah, if you can't finish the slides, it's okay. We can continue next week. All right. Okay. Let me take 5 more minutes. Then I can I can end it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for the reminder, Jadrian. I appreciate it. All right. So out of these 6 teachers, Sariputta and Mahamoggallana, they were students of one of these teachers. The name is Sanjaya Belati Putta. So he was the teacher for Upatissa and Kolita. So Upatissa and Kolita are the previous names of Sariputta and Mahamoggallana, and they were learning under Sanjaya Belati Putta. Okay, this story I will continue next week. Okay, since we don't have time. Okay, the story I want to highlight today is the story of Venerable Yasodhara and Rahula. Okay, so this was when the Buddha visited his kingdom, visited his birthplace or his place of his childhood, right? And Yasodhara and Rahula, at this point, they weren't yet venerables, right? They weren't yet ordained. So Yasodhara and Rahula, Yasodhara was pointing out to Rahula, this is your father, right? The Buddha is your father, all right? So this is the Buddha visiting. Okay. And again, we're going to continue this story next week. But I just want to share this story of the Buddha and the Prince Siddhartha Gautama and Princess Yasodhara. Their love story is a very beautiful love story because it didn't begin in that life. Anyone knows? Anyone knows that how did this love story begin? Yasodhara and Siddhartha Gautama. Yeah, some of you might know the story, some of you might not. But this story began. Yeah, Jaden, you wanna share?
Accidentally press one.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah. So this story began many, many lives ago in the time of Buddha Dipankara. At that time, Prince Siddhartha Gautama, at that time, he was Sumedha. And Yasodhara at that time in that life was Sumita. And it was in this life that Sumedha, this is Sumedha, yeah, he made the aspiration that I want to become a future Buddha under the Buddha Dipankara. Okay. And this is Sumita. Sumita also made the aspiration to support Sumedha life after life so that in the end they can become enlightened together. So in the final life, Prince Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha Gautama and and Sumita became Princess Yasodhara and Princess Yasodhara became Venerable Yasodhara under the disciple, became a disciple under the Buddha Gautama and together they attained Nibbana. So this is the most beautiful love story. None of your K-pop drama love story can beat this love story. Right? This is the most beautiful love story in human history. Right. So this is the story I want to share with all of you. Right. The love story between Sumedha and Sumita, and finally Buddha Gautama and Princess Yasodhara. Okay, and Venerable Yasodhara. All right. Good. There are more stories to come, but let's end it here. Yeah, we can. We can end it here. Next week, let's continue. Okay, let's get a group photo. Everyone, you can turn on your camera. I'm going to give you 10 seconds. Turn on your video camera. We're going to get a group photo. Yeah. All right, everyone ready? Wow, every week we have such interesting stories. Oh, we need Brother Chuhua, we need more time for this session. Maybe next week, maybe next year we can start at 8 p.m. so that everyone can share more stories. This is very, very good stories, very good stories. I appreciate everyone contributing to the discussion. Okay, good. Everyone, I can see your beautiful faces. Okay, good. Look in your camera and smile. Brother Wong, ready? Okay, look in the camera and smile. 5, 4, 3, 2, smile. Okay, one more. 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay, photo taken. All right, I've taken a photo. Okay, good. Now let's go
Can I
into.
leave? I need
Yeah,
to.
yes, please. Have a good learning tomorrow at school. Okay, right. Let us go to sharing of merit, and we can end the
Can
session.
I share merit first?
Yeah, excellent. Sharing of merit is one of the dasa kusala karma, one of the 10 skillful actions. Okay, we have okay, we have answered a lot of questions already. So I just want to share with this. This one, for most of you, you are not able to attend because you have your exam. But if some of you are not taking the exam, this is an event next Thursday, all right, at BGF, Buddhist Gem Fellowship. Is a sutta discussion with Pandey Chandima. So some of you, I'm wearing the BGF shirt now, the Buddhist Gem Fellowship shirt now. If some of you are not taking the exam, or if you have friends, you can invite them to this. But for you who are taking the exam, then you have to take the exam. The timing is, the timing is overlapping, all right? Okay, good. So thank you everyone for participating. Let's go into sharing of merit. Okay. All right. Okay. So now we want to share the merit of our learning of the Dhamma to all beings, and We hope that all beings rejoice in our merit, and may all beings be well and happy always. We want to also share these merits of the learning of the Dhamma with our teachers, our facilitators, our friends in the Dhamma. May we continue to support and encourage each other on this path of learning, and may all of us continue to support each other, to help each other, to ask and answer questions, to inspire each other to continue learning. All right, so let us chant the verses of sharing of merit. Imang no punya bhagang sabba sattanang dema. Imang no punya bhagang sabba sattanang dema. Imang no punya bhagang sabba sattanang dema. We share this merit with all beings. May they rejoice in our merit and be well, happy, and peaceful always. Sharing of merit with departed relatives. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo. Let my merits accrue to my departed relatives. May they be well and happy. Let's make our aspiration. Imina punya kamena ma me bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pantiya. By the grace of these merits that I've acquired, may I never meet evil and wicked people. May I meet the wise and virtuous until I attain my final emancipation. Final aspiration. Idang me punyang asavakaya vahang hotu. Idang me punyang nibbana pachayo hotu. By the power of this merit, may it lead to the extinction of defilements. By the power of this merit, may I attain the final realization of nibbana. May all beings be well and happy. 愿一切众生离苦得乐. Semoga semua makhluk hidup berbahagia. Sabbe satta sukhi hontu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sukhi hontu everyone. Take care everyone. Thank you so much and good night. Sukhi hontu.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye,
Good night.
JD. Chester, bye. Thank you, teacher. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sister Kwa.
I'm a big fan of your work. I watch your video and I feel so energized and inspired. And then when I was watching, my daughter was watching beside me and she said, "Who is this guy? He's so young." And I said, yeah, we need young teachers because they have the energy and the enthusiasm to inspire our kids. Thank you so much for doing this, Brother Weekend.
I really appreciate the kind words.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah, I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much, Sister Kwa. Yeah, and thank you so much. Sadhu to you for your great work as well in educating, facilitating the Sunday Dhamma School. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late because actually I just popped in because every Monday is actually Sutta study in another group. But I will watch your video. It's very, very, very helpful. Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good Sutta study as well.
Yeah.
Sadhu, sadhu. Good night. Thank you, Sister Kwa. Sukhi hontu. Take care, everyone. Wow, that's very kind. That's very kind of Sister Kwa. I appreciate it. Yes.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Sukhi hontu. Okay, I think we can end the recording. Let me stop my recording.